They know it. Here, look, a knife. Here, about the knife. That is, you can encounter this at any moment. Maybe you will be training with a family member. You can ask your wife to assist you. But at the same time, she will also gain some special skills. A neighbor, a colleague at work, or someone else. Any relative, it doesn't matter. Well, someone who can pair up with you and train. This needs to be done in parallel. We are currently working on the section on footwork. We are filming the application, but you need to practice with the knife independently, in parallel. Now, later, we will do this in the gym. That is, there will be a section on Jiu-jitsu, and we will do this in the gym. What did you change? Thank you. Listen, I don't know, look, maybe the zoom isn't working correctly. Here's the knife. The very first thing when it comes to knives is choosing the right one. It should be like this. It can be a rubber knife like this. I don't get far. It can be some kind of there. Strip of foam or a strip of soft rubber, well, which is cut to the size of the knife. This size or that, well, approximately the size of a knife. Not a huge sword, but specifically a knife. And it must definitely be soft. Why? Because this knife, it's plastic, but it's hard. But this one is still soft. I have another one there. Please bring it super. This one is more or less okay. But this one is still very hard. This one, in my opinion, bends even less. But there are plastic knives that don't bend at all. These two knives are not suitable for training. I give them to Maxim. With such a knife, you won't be slowing down knife strikes in training. You won't. Therefore, with such a knife, if it's hard, you should never train. I forgot. With a wooden knife, under no circumstances. Should you train with real sharp weapons? Why? Or just metal, but why do people say that? The shine of metal, won't help you in training at all. Your reaction is to the moving hand. And whether something in it glistens or not, it's the moving hand that will strike from below. A direct strike from here and back, so the shine of metal has nothing to do with it. Nowadays, many knives are coated with either a gray or black coating. There will be no metal shine, only the movement of the hand. It's necessary for the reflex to be on the moving hand. That's why knives of this type are correct. Because you won't slow down your strikes. For example, in Aikido. For instance, in Aikido they train with a tanto. This wooden one, right? But there, the strike is slowed down. They don't really strike for real. Why? Because imagine, alright, let's keep it down. Because look, with a wooden or metal knife or some hard plastic against internal organs, imagine you should never, under any circumstances, train with hard weapons. You might never encounter a situation in your life where someone attacks you with a knife. But you will get hurt here during training. Just aim here, somewhere at the internal organs, or here with a hard knife. See, like this in the eye and so on, and that's it, and you will get hurt during training. And you'll live your whole life, and no one will attack you with a knife. Therefore, the most important thing in knife training is safety. And safety means using such a knife, because you will be delivering strikes quickly. A wooden knife flies in, and it's so soft, there is no harm to your internal organs. It's flexible. So it's clear, right? That is, the first thing is the choice of weapon with which you will train. And we are not engaged in knife fighting. For example, I have a knife, my partner has a knife. And here, we are somehow engaged in knife fighting. This is mutual killing. This is wrong. You shouldn't do it. Unfortunately, everyone does it this way. But it's wrong. You are engaged in defense against a knife attack. That is, a person with a knife attacks, and you learn defense at the initial stage. Then all the winning techniques, all the techniques that are victorious with a knife are offensive. And in defense, you are against the attack. Then you win with the knife. If you are in defense, you will lose, but we will explain this on Patreon. We will show all of this. Everything will be structured sequentially in the lesson. But the first thing we start with, I repeat, is the selection of weapons. Like this. Watch further. The most common attack you might encounter, this is just the introductory part, is a stab to the stomach. That's it. Here's the first lesson on knives. You will watch. There are 10 people removed, 10 people in another room. And to each person coming out of the room, I say, imagine people, which strike will you deliver? Choose which strike to quickly hit a person with a knife. And all 10 people showed like this, no one showed like this, or somehow like this. Everyone just showed like this. And on Jun, in various ways, in different manners, in a multitude of styles. Out of 10 people, 10 chose this kind of attack. Understandably, but for training, we choose 5 directions that have a very small probability, yet you might still encounter them. These are diagonal strikes, reverse strikes, and strikes from above. It might be like this. Well, more often it's like this. They hit somewhere, but generally professionals don't hit like this. Professionals hit like this because this is a strike right here. A vertical strike goes nowhere unless you have clearly bent over from above. Such a vertical strike, well, for example, Anatoly will help me. I, for instance, bent the person, and then from above I hit them somewhere. This is how the upper strike with the pull is used. Diagonal, reverse, direct strike, strike from below. And a strike from above, even with the foot very often. Maxim will help me with this. This is how they attack. Just like this, they cut the face, and that's it. This is a strike from above. They hit like this, right in the face. You understand? They strike like this, they hit around here. But the knife won't go in here, it has to be driven in like this, like this. But people don't realize, they strike like this. They press the knife against the chest angle, but you need to strike very hard to break through the rib cage. And the knife must be very strong. Mostly it's like this, so that the knife goes in like this, between the ribs. But if you strike here, I'll repeat once more. Then he bent over, they grabbed him, and you can strike the neck. In war, they also strike the back. But when striking the back once again, make sure the knife goes in like this between the ribs. They don't strike like this. Like this, it won't go in. So once again, watch carefully. 5 strikes. We take the most common ones, diagonal, reverse, direct, from below and above. Again there, thank you. Let Anatoly help me. He was taking the sections. Watch carefully. What does the training consist of? This is the first training session where we start. You can start with this at home. I will now explain how to do it correctly. Because a small incorrect nuance that you do wrong turns the correct training into incorrect. Firstly, control the speed. Here I am with Anatoly starting to work with these 5 strikes. Anatoly tries to make only 1 block for each of my strikes. For example, diagonal, reverse. And to make 2 or 3 different blocks for 1 strike. Only 1 block. Here's the diagonal, for example. This is how Anatoly will do it. Reverse. And no other way. Only like this. Only this 1 block. Because if you make 2 or 3 different blocks for each strike, it will work like an overloaded computer. As a result, when there's a real attack, you won't react. That is, imagine you have 2 or 3 actions. Which one will you choose? Your automatic response won't switch. A strike from below, Anatoly places his hand like this, for example. You can block with one hand. You can block with both hands using an X block. You can block like this. A strike from above, like this. But we consider it as a strike with a club, like this. Let's say I have a small club, and I'm trying to hit the head with this club. Therefore, we consider a strike from above not only as a knife strike, but also as a strike with some kind of club. Diagonal like this, reverse like this. Don't forget, from below you can block like this, or with one hand, like this. A direct strike. We either absorb it from above, you need to determine, just from above, raise your hand, like this. Artem, come to me, help me. Who do we have a direct strike? Either we absorb it from above, like this with the hand. You will have time to raise your hand and absorb the strike from above, like this, or we deflect to the side. A direct strike to the stomach. We are not talking about an upward strike right now. Low, X block. Let me repeat once more, X block. Open up with the arm, and like this. And a direct strike. Either you lift your hand and strike down, like this, deflect it to the side, or simply knock it down. just down, standing in place, not moving anywhere. Just knock it down. Like this, deflect the direct strike. Like this. You will have time to raise your hand and make the strike once more. This is how the maneuver looks. We conditionally call this an internal term, maneuver. This is 1, this is 2. This is 3, this is 4. This is 5. And it's not necessary to run off the line of attack to the side. Why? Because in an elevator, run. Some cramped space. We do it in place. We die where we stand. From above, 1, 2, 3. Here, Artem chooses a double block for this strike. He chooses this kind of double block. That's his choice. What you can do, it's his choice to do it like this. You can use one hand, just deflect with one hand. The knife is blocked. He can grab the hand, you understand right? Yes. Well, you can do it like this, for example. Reverse strike. The same thing, one hand. You can use 2, please. You can do a double block. Here's Artem. Once, double block. And he wants to do it like this. Well, it's much more rational to block with this hand and with this one, for example, strike me. This will be much better than you. Both hands went into the block. Well, for starters, let it be like this. Choose one defensive action for each attack. Not different ones, just one. One. Artem will do it like this. 2, 3, 4, 5. You see, right? And that's how it works. Watch. Now, Artem is doing everything well. Control speed. Proper training is control speed. I start to do it a bit faster. For example, and Artem, well, for instance, he keeps up. He has a blue belt. He keeps up. But for example, there are people who, like me, pick up the speed, but he can't keep up. They can't keep up. It's difficult for them. They start to tense up somehow, you know? So what does this mean? This is not your speed. This is not your speed. So we go back again to the slower pace, where my assistant can keep up. I check again. Everything is fine. I start to increase the speed again. Everything is fine. So let's try a bit faster once more. And then, for example, he starts to fall behind. Again, this is not our speed. So we step back again. And in this natural way, the speed gradually increases. Why this kind of training? So that it doesn't happen that, for example, I strike at the neck and he blocks some kind of lower blow. So that this doesn't happen on the street. You see, this practice develops your intuition, enhances intuition. I haven't delivered the blow yet. But Artem, because we pay extra, but Artem, because he can sense how my body is preparing to deliver the blow. He already understands how and where I will strike. You see, this is the basis of knife defense. But right now, we're talking about defense. We're not talking about Tanto Jutsu. It's just a training exercise. This is not a combat technique. It's a training exercise. But this training exercise should correctly, efficiently, and systematically lead to a combat technique. So you start gradually at a slow and steady pace. That's normal. 5 directions. Diagonal, reverse from above, straight to the stomach, and from below, you practice at home with someone. Concurrently, parallel training is happening. Then I will repeat again. Here it will be different. A series of lessons. We will be showing the guys on demand about knife techniques. Look, once again, nobody trains like this. Everyone trains incorrectly. Train correctly, increase the speed. Once mistakes start appearing in the video, it means he's already doing everything. He has some kind of hand misalignment. You understand, right? That's his charge. Therefore, to avoid these misalignments, we constantly perform the same block. For a specific strike, we don't change the block so that it's quickly and efficiently fast. And this deeply ingrained psychological block is triggered. I must strongly emphasize again, if you have 2 or 3 in your collection of strategies or tools, it's not good, it's bad. People often engage in trying to accumulate more than necessary. More various technical actions. But this overloads your computer. You understand? That is, there should be technical actions, but you shouldn't overload the algebra. A little faster I manage. Everything is fine. A little faster again. Already getting lost, already confused. That's it. This is not your speed. We return to a lower speed. And these are daily exercises, or maybe not daily, but regular exercises. Then I gave him the knife and he attacks. He attacked, then I attack again, then he attacks again. That's how we train. Well, guys, the more time, the better. If this becomes a daily practice, that's good. Every other day is also not bad. And twice a week is also fine. Then, in any case, it will open up for you this intuition, this intuitive channel, as I call it, when, by how he prepares, by how his body prepares, you already understand where and how the bachelors are taking you. Friends, if you don't have this practice, it's better to try to run away from an attacker with a knife. Almost no one manages to do this, very rarely. Because I run, when no one chased me with a knife, they chased me with an axe. I feel a person behind me with an axe, and he wanted to kill me with that axe to chop me down. And this nervous tension, I stumble, I fall, I get up and run again. My legs and arms become like jelly. From what? From fear. From the fact that they are chasing me with an axe. The same effect occurs when someone is chasing you with a knife. I don't know. In my case personally, I've never seen anyone die from an attacker with a knife. But only if, like he's standing like this and I'm standing in a subway car. He comes towards me and then right in front of his nose, the subway car doors close. I escape from the knife. But running like that is impossible. And as a rule, attacks happen. Here I am attacking Artem with a knife. Come closer. I won't attack Artem with a knife like this. This way, he can break free, and run away. Table, come here. And I attack Artem like this, so that he doesn't grow anywhere. I either corner him against the wall or into a corner somewhere, you understand, right? Very often, knife attacks happen just like that. In some confined spaces. Did you manage to run from the knife? Well, it's impossible. How can he run away? So here, I grabbed him. The knife strikes the leg. How can he escape from the knife? No way. He won't even run away like this. I will still try. I'll manage to slash him somehow. If like this, well, maybe he ran and I'm after him. And let's say right now my knee hurts, but in real life, I would catch up to him. How old are you? And I'm 65. I run well, and at 65, I will catch up to him. Do you understand? I will catch up. I can simply throw the knife at him. Of course, you shouldn't throw it. That's further on. I will explain in the lessons. You threw the knife and you gave him your weapon. You understand, right? You should never do that. But if you are sure that you will throw it and it will stick into him. But maybe then, yes, you shouldn't throw it like that. It's better to run and catch him. It's best to do it like this. Somehow like this, and he runs away. Yes, well, yes. He won't run away anywhere now. Well, a normal person won't do it like this. I mean, someone who knows how to attack properly won't attack like this. He will definitely grab like this somehow, so the person doesn't run away, holding him with the other hand. Like this, he just knocked the hand away and ran. You understand, right? So once again, friends, running away from a knife, thank you, is absurd. We don't even consider that. So there's only one option, to train. But to train correctly. Only proper training will yield results. Improper training will yield no results. You will train your whole life and still you'll get caught because the training is incorrect. The right teacher with the right teacher. Proper training, understand, right? You should certainly and carefully choose the stomach. Only training removes the stomach. It removes the stomach. I went here. That is, you see, no, I mean, I will show proper training. I will show secrets. If you don't know these secrets, you will never defeat an attacker with a knife. By definition, a person with a knife, a person without a knife, convince. Why? Because I have a mouse and he doesn't. That's all. You can win by knowing training correctly, I repeat, knowing a certain secret that I will tell you. Then you will be able to defeat a person with a knife. That's basically all for the beginning. End video. People started working. Let me correct the mistakes right away. Look, let's do it, Anatoly. I'll help with Anatoly. Anatoly, stand so that you are visible. Camera, over here. Look, you start the outline and then slowly, carefully begin the process. 1, 2. Then your movements become shorter. You don't need to do that. Don't shorten the movement with wide sweeping movements. Even when you slightly increase the speed, well, guys, the speed increases gradually. Just a little bit. You shouldn't do it like this. You were doing it slowly, then switch to this speed. Don't do it like that. It's a gradual process. If you want to master this, if you keep rushing things, you won't master it. Don't shorten the amplitudes. I was attacking with such amplitudes, with sweeping movements, and then we gradually shorten the amplitudes too. Not immediately making our strikes shorter. More like this. Yes, not with sweeping amplitudes, but already shorter. But we start training with this using a knife, with sweeping strikes like this. So what is the task? For your partner to see your strikes. I make short strikes and Anatoly doesn't see them. The training is pointless. On the contrary, I show him these strikes. Then I show these strikes with amplitudes. Then I stop showing him these strikes. His intuition developed during the time when I was making such strikes a little bit more, somewhat shorter. His intuition developed in a certain way. He no longer needs to see the strikes. I stand like this, strike, and he already understands. Do you understand where and how I will attack? Such training will yield such a result. When such strikes occur, you will react to them. Let's keep the amplitude. Don't shorten it. This is the first correction. With large amplitudes, so he can see your strikes. You don't hide your strikes from him. On the contrary, you show your strikes. Show them, so he understands how you attack. And then, now he sees, and then he will start to foresee. You understand, right? When intuition appears, he will start not just seeing your actions, but foreseeing them. It's a completely different level. Correct the mistake, the one that caused it. Look, it's even simpler. Look, here's the frontal stack. My feet are shoulder width apart like Maxim's. We agree. Both have either relaxed hands or tense hands. Why? Because what just happened? I make attacks with relaxed hands, while Maxim hits my relaxed hands with all his strength using tense hands. I repeat, his hands are fine, but mine will be sore tomorrow. They'll be strong. Agree on it. The optimal option is relaxed hands. Frontal stance. We stand opposite each other, but at about arm's length. Like this, and you don't need anything else. Your reaction is to the incoming hand. You see with blocks, not forward. There, you moved forward here, from here. From here. You understand, right? I make sweeping movements, even if you don't have a knife under your hand. Well, you can take something like a pencil, a gun, or you can take nothing after the head. His reaction to the hand moving towards him. It doesn't matter if it's a knife or not, shiny or not shiny, it doesn't matter at all. Just a reaction to the hand moving towards him. It moves either slowly or speeds up a bit. He, for example, manages, but suddenly stops managing. Once, he starts getting confused. He gets confused. So what does it mean? It means it's not his speed. Start slower, gradually, so he can keep up. And initially, start with wide movements, such as long, large amplitude movements. With a bare hand if you can. With a bare hand. Like this, for example. If there's nothing at hand, just stand like this. As I say, we used to do it for hours in our youth. 1, 2, 3. I throw my hand and he deflects it like this. This exercise will give you what you want, namely, successfully parrying a knife strike. Let's correct mistake number 2.